Yeah, for some reason it wasn't like linking me.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm delighted we're doing this today. So
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for showing up and um being a part of this.
process.
Yep. So, how long have you been a library manager for?
So I've actually been, as you can see, I'm a mature woman. I was a medical librarian up until 16 years ago. So I was a manager at a Department of Veteran Affairs medical library for since about 1990. And then when I left the VA, then I landed up coming to the public network 16 years ago. And then within 2 years, I was a manager at the Westlake Village Library. And then 13 years ago, I came here to the Agora Hills Library, and this is where I'll die.
Yeah, I really want to get into public librarianship myself.
Yeah, I don't even know if there's a market anymore for special librarianship. I remember I was very happy as a medical librarian, but um, once doctors could go directly on the internet to Medline and order their own articles, then they didn't need a go-between person.
Oh yeah. Was it difficult to do? Like, is it like kind of a hard thing to remember all the code and
Well, they used in the medical world, it was everything was what was called mesh, and that was a controlled vocabulary. So how we searched Medline was with the mesh terms. So yeah, we were great. We had no problems doing it as medical librarians. And then I worked directly with doctors. I never had a problem with a doctor. So it was easy for me to work with them. Some nurses but mainly doctors through all those years. So when I came to the public library network, I actually sold myself to get hired by the county because at that time have adopted 7 kids and I have one biological. So they were 16 years ago. They were quite a few of them were still young. And so I sold myself as a children's librarian because I knew all the books, all about the books that we were reading at home. But I
That's
was a children's
awesome.
librarian for a couple of years and then moved into management.
Wow, I'm adopted myself, so I know what that's like.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I have kids from China and from Korea.
Wow.
So and the youngest ones now are 26, and the oldest one is 44.
Wow.
So, well, congratulations to the world of adoption.
Yeah. So this brings me to my next question about the freedom to read as mentioned in the ALA Bill of Rights. What's your take on it?
Well, okay, so this is where I want to explain the County of Los Angeles library system. So lacountylibrary.org. So when you work as in a large system like this one, there's 85 libraries in this. So you don't generate programs at your little branch. This is a big branch. Everything is like directed from central. And so when they do things like ban books or anything, there's usually a major program that is being promoted on the website, and then also other materials that would be available. So, as an example, they had lists on the main website of different books that were banned and vignettes about stories. There's something we'll talk about in this conversation about something called the Initiative for uh, the books. Okay, the unbanned initiative for teenagers, which is we've been part of in California. I don't know if you know about that.
I don't.
But the point being, and then we do at our individual library, we have to do the programs they want us to do, but we also supplement. So those pictures I sent you are examples of how my adult teen librarian, Katie, um, has displays that she sets up every month, depending on whether it's Indigenous Peoples Month or Banned Book Week or you name it, then she puts books out representing that right at the front door. as well as I think she sent you pictures of the front door, as well as in the teen section. And then my children's librarian does the same thing in the children's section.
Oh,
So, and then Katie came up with that great idea, which was that big, you know, scene with the holes in the glass or the holes in the paper that was covering the glass.
it
So
looks
as
like an
people,
advent calendar.
yeah, so well, it was what it is what she created was a that's a large bookcase, glass bookcase. So in the bookcase, when you look through the holes, you see books that are banned. So she'll have children's and everything, and that's where people look at it and say, "What? You mean that was banned?" Because so many
Mm.
people really, really don't appreciate it. So that's always been a very successful display that she has set up. So, but for us, the County of Los Angeles is obviously as a major system in uh, recognized by ALA, very much supportive of intellectual freedom, obviously, with all the programs that we're talking about. And then we'll continue to discuss things like that.
Oh, great. So how would you react to a patron who wants the library to remove a book they don't like? What-
So again, we have a process. So
Yeah.
we actually have paperwork. So what we'll do is talk to the person, whether it's a children's book or, so I'll have because there's three librarians. There's Katie is adult teen, Ria is children's, and then I'm adult. So probably the initial librarian where the book is being complained about, let's say it's a children's book. Probably Ria will have a conversation with them and see if she can understand what the issue is, etc. If that doesn't, then they'll bring the person to me so I can talk to them and just make sure if they are absolutely insistent that this book be reviewed, then we do have paperwork that we do, the person signs off on that they have issues with XYZ issue. And we do send that to collection development and they review the book. I don't think they hardly ever, remove a book.
Okay.
So, but there is a process. So, because obviously the person wants to be recognized that they had an issue. So, if we can take care of it at the local level, we try. But if not, then we do send it to formal review type thing.
Okay. Well, if there's a book that you could unban, which one would you pick?
Now, here's what the my librarians and I had the discussion today. So, we basically felt we're almost making a selection of a particular book rather than looking at a broader thing. So, I mean, we like Katie was saying, the book called Speak by Anderson is the book was always her favorite book when she was a teenager. So, but it would be a broader thing. I think what we librarians look at is the bigger issues. It isn't like undoing one book because then we'd be saying, well, you're more significant book that should be unbanned than something else. So that's how we'd look at it, type thing. When Katie does displays for the LGBTQ, she puts out whatever we've got, so, and interesting, the first year I was worried about it. The second year, which was this past year, we had no issues. No one came in and complained.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's heartening.
Right. Well, the other thing is that uh, my library is in the same complex as City Hall, Agoura Hills City Hall. And so the property, the grassy area in front of the library is actually city property. And so what the city did this year, in I guess that's June, they did put up the LGBTQ flag and had a ceremony when they put it up. So not only did we have our displays up about, that particular issue was the LGBT thing. So we had our displays out and but the city was also encouraging recognition of everyone with this huge flag that was right below the American flag. So that was quite
For
and I never heard
LGBT.
there were any problems.
So they flew an LGBTQ flag.
Yep, yep.
Wow.
So they had it, and it was quite large. It was bigger than the American flag. So it was the
Wow.
American flag, then the California flag, and then they had that up for the whole month.
That's awesome.
I think so too. Yeah.
So what do you think about your library's policy about pulling books from the shelves the patrons deem is worthy of being banned? Like, has that happened?
If
Um,
the, we haven't, we're pretty, I think the system, like I said, the system is fairly strong in not wanting to take something off if at all possible.
right,
So I think it would have to be fairly significant. This system also does have, um, in the same vein of LGBTQ, um, I forget what it's called when the drag queen story time.
story time, yeah.
This system does it. And so this is not, they're not a, it doesn't happen a lot, but they definitely do it. So we are out there standing up for everyone.
That's good. Yeah, intellectual freedom on high.
Yes, definitely.
That's
So
great.
sometimes, sometimes I think it can be worrisome for a library, for a librarian. We're all kind of like wary of what we're going into now with the election just behind us.
Yeah.
And the expectation is, I was just watching something today, as a matter of fact, on MSNBC, there's a gentleman that does a program called Velshis Banned Book Club. His name is spelled VELSHI. And once a week, he goes over a situation about a book. And this week, it was about a book called The Best at It. And it's about a seventh grader who is discovering himself. So the author's last name is Pancholy, Pancholy. And it was talking about community. It was talking about his book was actually going to be banned by a school board in Pennsylvania this past year. And it was the community that went to the school board and said, no, we want that book and we want him to come speak on the book, not just that. And at one rally, they had, I think it was 1,000 people. And what also came to that meeting, it obviously wasn't in the council chambers, it was outside. It was probably a large school board meeting, was many high schoolers came. And so to support it, it was young people were there, not just adults. And so it was reinstated. So his book was not banned. And that's why even the author said that was quite something to have that happen. But he is concerned about what's going to be happening going forward.
Yeah, definitely a different climate is going to be ahead. Um,
Exactly.
thank goodness we live in California,
Yeah.
where we accept those that are not accepted in other parts of the United States. Yeah. So do you believe your library to be authentically engaged and committed to the community?
Yes. So not only is it like the things that we talk about, we are very aware of although there are, what do you want to call it, programs that the county wants all the libraries to put on. There are certain things that they want, like I said, the banned book, um, you know, things that were happening. We also we do programs of paid for, by the way, either by the county or paid for by our Friends of the Library organization, which anything they raise for selling books, they give to us. So we are very aware of our particular community. Agora Hills is a fairly wealthy community. It's a little bit more than upper class, than middle class. And we know the ethnic group of the community. So we very much engage with them from that standpoint. We know the people that live here. At one point, there's quite a large Jewish population. So, but there is some diversity that's starting to move into the area. It's kind of expensive to move in here. So, but
Yeah, I
we
went to Cal
library,
State Northridge.
what now?
I went to Cal State Northridge.
Me too. There you go.
Oh, wow.
A little
Yeah.
longer ago than you. So I got my degree from SC, but my undergrad was political science
Oh,
at,
wow.
at Cal State Northridge. So
Mine
love
was
it.
creative writing.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. English and creative writing.
Oh, so you're a reader then. Or it's English and creative writing?
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's like an emphasis or option is the creative writing part.
Well, who knows? Are you looking to be a novelist?
I was working on poetry
Ah,
while I was there, which was, you know, I still have it. I want to self-publish very soon.
Oh,
But
that's exciting.
yeah, I do a lot of haikus.
Okay, I remember well haikus. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Um so does your library have laptop rentals and internet in the parking lot?
Yeah. Okay. So, because like remember how I told you the story about the flag outside and the grassy? Okay.
Yeah.
In this is what's called a lease building. So the County of Los Angeles leases my library inside and pays the funds to the city of Agora Hills. What that means is that everything inside the library we maintain. Outside the library is, including the parking lot, is city. So Sky Patrick, who's the director of the LA County Library System, wanted every library to have access outside for people to use Wi-Fi. But the city, my city, was concerned about in their parking lot, and so my city spoke to Guy Patrick, well, the administration, and they came to an agreement that they would not have it at this library outside. So the city was concerned it was going to draw homeless, and so they instituted a no trespassing ordinance, so that you can't be on this property between this time and that time. And so we don't have access outside the library. You could probably just be outside the wall, you could, but you don't. I know what you're saying. And then,
Mhm.
yes, we do have laptop rentals. That's a big program with a high demand from the public. So, in fact, we just heard, I think it was this week, the county is going to be purchased probably through a grant, purchasing more laptops to rent to the public.
Okay. That's good. Great. Sad that you can't have it in the parking lot, but I understand why, you know.
Yeah. And if this was like most of the county libraries, if the county owned the parking lot, then it would be we would have that outside thing going on. So, but there's a few libraries out of the 84 that are leased buildings. And so outside the library is not ours.
Okay. Are there any like new library offerings that yours has?
So when you say offerings, I wondered what you meant.
Oh, like any kind of like different programming or um like or even sometimes I read that LA County has like booster shots,
Right,
like
right.
stuff like that.
Okay, so what the county does, the county library system does, very much Sky Patrick is very directed at the poor areas of the county and serving their needs. So in our system, we're like a donut around LA City. LA City is LAPL. I think you're aware of that because you're from California. So we're the county. So we are around LA City, all the way down to Diamond Bar, all the way out to Malibu, out to Lancaster, and over to La Crescenta. In those communities, there's many people who are having a hard time economically. So we actually have the booster programs and have for a number of years for flu and I think it's just flu. I can't remember if they've included COVID. We also give out COVID kits for free. That is part of the Department of Public Health. Sky has very much, she even has programs that diapers and very necessary needs for new families that simply are having a hard time. She has also done programs in certain libraries. Trying to think, they have toolkit libraries. There's actually a few that have tools in those libraries. And when I heard they were doing that, I thought, oh, they're really popular. Oh my goodness. There's a real need for tools. So definitely looking at the needs of poor communities. We have, I think it's two bookmobiles that travel to give, oh, no, I think it's called Library Stars or whatever, that are vans that go to communities to meet with people that can't get to libraries for whatever reason. Perhaps they're out in a rural area like Lancaster, as an example. or out in the Antelope Valley so that it can bring service to other to people who aren't near. So I think Sky Patrick has done an excellent job
Yeah.
meeting the needs of the community she serves. So definitely many languages. This library has languages. I think 100 different languages of books, um,
Um,
because of, as you know, LA County is a stew pot of every kind of nationality. So I think I think we could have to say for her, and I think her prior director, Margaret Donelon Todd, I think the same thing was there, that they were doing this kind of thing. Now you might ask in your program, now where does that money come from for them to put on certain
yeah.
of these programs, like giving out diapers and a number of other things that she's been working on, that she does have a couple of people that are actively always writing grants. So that grants are received. They also have a program at some libraries, not mine, where they have young people who are there to help people who have problems with computers, who just can't figure out how to use computers. The thing with those, so this is wonderful to have these young people available, maybe not 40 hours a week, but maybe, 8 hours a week or something, that are there just to meet the needs of those people. The problem with grants, Juanita, is that they're usually limited to 1 or 2 years. So this system actively gets grants for a number of programs reaching out to people who have real needs, and then, but they might end. So at a period of time. So that is the downside. But they are always working on more grants. And so a lot of the children's programs, they have special programs for parents, how to be a better parent. They have special things coming in for parents, programs that are bringing in subject experts like sheriffs that talk about safety, that, fire department talks about things, that they have dentists come in and talk about issues. Those are grant funded programs. So a lot of the children's programs do get assistance from grants. Now you take a library like mine, which is in a wealthy community, so we don't need any of those things. So it isn't that every library gets the same services. It depends on the library. So the libraries in most need get almost all the services. A good example of that is San Fernando. Is actually a really small library, but I swear every program that there is, they have that CLM put it on, because it's a program in great need, lots of kids. Um, and so almost everything that is done there, but they would not choose us for those programs because we don't have the need.
Okay.
So a lot of our programs are based on funding from like I said, the Friends of the Library that will pay for a program. For instance, I have had um, violinists come in and put on programs for the community. These are a lot of older people, and the Friends just pay for the whole thing. So that's how we do programs that we want to
So you go through
offer.
Friends of the Library?
To what?
You go through Friends of the Library?
Right. Our
Okay.
friends of the, so it is a memorandum of understanding. Almost all the libraries have MOUs with their friends of the library, and those MOUs require that all money that a FOL receives from selling books or whatever they do has to go to the library for programming, for books, for magazines, for whatever. And
What's
so
MOU?
MOU, memorandum of understanding.
Oh,
Uh, Okay. Yeah, that would be an agreement between LA County Library and the organization of the Friends of the Library.
okay. That's great to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
you answered all my questions so well.
So
Thank
yeah, it is. I don't know if you knew, if you wanted to pick a system like this one that was a big one that would give you this perspective. So
you. Oh, yeah. I would
that's
love to.
yeah. And now, are you looking at to work in like a system like LA County?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a, there's a lot. One of the things with LA County is that, and they actually, you would continue looking for openings. They are always looking for librarians. The thing with LA County is that you can go to work at one library. Let's say you get hired. They'll probably bring you in as a children's librarian because they bring everybody in as a children's librarian. And then you have an opportunity over a period of time to either go to another library that maybe is closer to your home, or say, I'm done with children's, I'd really like to be a adult services librarian. So there's a lot of opportunity. And then if you actually had aspirations to be a manager, that would also be a process you could work towards. And then there are in fact, one of my other librarians that I have trained, and she's moved on to what we call a level 3 library. I'm a level 4 library, but I know that individual in a heartbeat could move into what is called upper management regional services, which would
Okay.
be over an area. So there's 5 regions in the LA County Library System. So we're North Region. And so I could see that librarian definitely moving into a position like that over a career path.
Awesome. Yeah, I could definitely fit in. I work with teenagers and young children. I've worked with young children for like 10 years.
There you go.
So I would totally fit right in with the children's section.
Yeah. And then, you might do it. And then like my children's librarian now came out of she used to be a preschool teacher. She's still quite young, but she thought that's not going to make it. So she went back to school like you, probably San Jose State,
Yeah.
and got her degree. And so the nice thing about a system like this, Juanita, is the LA County still has a pension as well as you're getting a 457 or a 401b, savings plan. There's a lot of good things about going to work for a system. And so I always encourage my librarians to look at it that way. You could also, if you move to another area or whatever, you could take that pot, whatever you have, and change it over. But I think getting yourself set up, because as you know, it's expensive in California,
Yeah.
really expensive.
Yes.
And so trying to find a place to live if you're not living at home, or having some kind of, convenient place to live is tough. It's really tough. And then there's the commute. I live literally 3 miles from here. I live in Agora. So my gift to myself was finding a library at the end of my career that was close to home.
That's great. I
Yeah.
mean, I live near a few libraries myself, so I'm hoping to get into one of those.
Which library systems are there? Which libraries?
I live in Torrance. So,
Okay.
so there's the Katie Geiser Library, there's the Carson Library. I'm sure there's
Carson,
more.
yeah, Carson's us, I think, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I think Carson's about to close for renovation or something. They're about
Oh,
to
there
do
you go.
that. So it might be Carson's big, if I remember right, right?
Yeah.
And then what other ones are near you?
Um, I can't remember right now, but I know the Katie Geiser one is not the LA connected one.
Torrance. Yeah,
Yes.
Torrance is not us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, exciting. So
Yeah.
who knows? You may be in our system.
I hope so. But well, Nina, thank you so much for answering all my questions and being so
Okay.
available.
Yeah, I'm glad. And thank you for recording it. That worked out much better.
Yes, I'll definitely let you know how it went.
Okay. Yeah. And like when do you graduate? When do you anticipate graduating?
Like in a year, I think. I
Okay.
think in about a year.
So that would be like that's that what, February type thing?
Let's see. I have it on my wall. In spring, I think about spring of
Okay.
2025.
Well, keep your eyes open. And yes, you as a young person versus me, you are going to see an evolving library world. How AI is going to affect how these things are. So I'm sure it will, but like libraries continue to keep going. So, but it'll definitely change in your lifetime, in your work life, no question. So
Great.
good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Juanita, keep in touch so I know what's going on with you.
Okay, I
All
will.
right. Thank you.